You have to force behavior.
$400 billion. What you want to aim for is monopoly.
Billionaires. To some, they're the villains of our age, the devils of society, hoarding wealth while the rest struggle to survive. The idea that billionaires shouldn't exist feels almost self-evident when you look at it through the eyes of a majority, since every win for a billionaire seems to come with the loss for the common man. But that's only one side of the truth, because society is not a flat plane, it's an ecosystem, and if you only focus on one part of it, you'll miss out how the whole thing really works. If we want to understand the truth, we have to look at society as a living system, and when we do, something unexpected appears. A reason why billionaires should not only exist, but why they ought to exist. Yes! On the grass plains, the sheep grazes peacefully with its herd. Life is good, but as night approaches, it all changes. The wolves are here. From the perspective of the sheep, the wolves are the devils of nature. They are only here to ruin their life. The argument that the wolves should not exist may become a popular sentiment in sheep society, and in truth it is a valid argument, however only from the perspective of the sheep, because as we all know, even the wolf has its function in nature. If the wolf does not exist, the system turns into chaos. Without a natural counterbalance, the sheep overpopulate, overconsume, and destroy their own habitat. Therefore, contrary to the sheep's belief, the wolf ought to exist. Same principles can be used on society, since society is a system as well. So what functions does billionaires have? Since from observation it seems they cause nothing more than exploitation and suffering, and the richer they become, the poorer the common man becomes. But that is nothing more than sheep bias, the same the sheep had towards the wolf. You see, in reality, just like the wolves are a counterbalance in nature, the billionaires are a counterbalance in society. In the bottom of society, we find the majority, the proletariat. Above, we find the bourgeoisie, the billionaires, and so on. In Marxist theory, the class dynamic is primarily just between these two. This is where the typical Marxist class struggle comes from. The battle between the capitalist and the worker. But in reality, the dynamic is far more complex than that. You see, there is a third class, the bureaucrat, the people who run and are rewarded by the system itself. In this system, the bureaucrat and the bourgeoisie are a counterbalance to each other. The bureaucrat tailor laws, regulation and loopholes that limits the bourgeoisie and strengthens the bureaucrat's control. The bourgeoisie, through capital and influence, lobby to offset the control and thereby maximize their opportunities. Each successful move limits the power of the other class, and without them acting as antagonists to each other, the system falls out of balance. Without the bureaucrat, the bourgeoisie is free to exploit as much as they want. Without the bourgeoisie, the bureaucrat is free to suppress as much as it wants. Thereby removing the bourgeoisie, the billionaires of society is nothing more than an act of a fool, unless your goal is for a surveillance state where everyone is oppressed. A good example of what happens when a society removes the bourgeoisie is the Soviet Union. The year is 1917, and the people has overthrown the government. Now the workers are in control. No more Tsar, no more rich lord or robber baron. Sounds good, right? Wrong. Without a check to power, the bureaucrat class are free to do whatever they want. This led to the rise of the most infamous person in the 20th century, Joseph Stalin. And we know how that went. Had a problem with the state? Into the gulag you went. Suspicious of anti-Soviet behavior? Into the gulag you went. Farted in the middle of a speech? Into the gulag you went.
Gulag, the pinnacle of 20th century scientific achievement, the ultimate solution to all of life's little inconveniences. Feeling unproductive, dissatisfied, questioning authority? Try Gulag. Just 2 to 3 years in our state-of-the-art facility and you'll forget all your worries and possibly your name. Gulag, for a world without problems. Now available for only 0 rubles.
I think that you understand the concept. When power is unchecked, it is free to do whatever it wants. A big problem with this is when the state is established, the only solution out of this madness is a full systemic change, which will cost many lives. That is why having billionaires is paradoxically good, because changes in government can instantiate without the need for revolution. Simply put it, have a problem with the government, spend millions upon millions to lobby the government to your liking. This is like how other billionaires lobby the government. Spend millions upon millions to lobby against them. The very essence of what makes a billionaire, money, becomes a tool of balance. Limiting wealth too strictly limits that process, and with it, the people's ability to influence power from within. The battle between the bureaucrat and the bourgeoisie is endless. As long as it is endless, society will be at balance. Power checked by power. This is how it should be. Just like the wolves and the sheep in nature. Of course, we don't live in the Soviet Union. Our wolves wear suits, not fangs, but they still hunt and they still balance the herd. Look at big tech. Every time government tightens their grip with privacy laws, billionaires like Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg push back, lobbying, innovating, finding loopholes. It's easy to call that greed, but it's also competition. Regulation evolves because billionaires test its limits. Just like wolves force the herd to run faster, billionaires force bureaucrats to adapt. Or take the energy industry. Oil tycoons and renewable moguls are in constant war. One side lobbying to extend fossil fuel life, the other to rewrite the grid. Each side claims moral high ground, yet both are driven by profit. And strangely enough, this friction accelerates innovation more than cooperation ever could. Even in media, billionaires shape narrative while the government scramble to control them. When the bureaucrats censor, billionaires fund new platforms. When billionaires go too far, bureaucrats step in. It is not harmony, but it is balance. Messy, loud, necessary balance. It's tempting to hate the rich, to think that if we just get rid of them, everything will finally be fair. But fairness isn't nature's design, balance is. And balance doesn't always look pretty. So before you call for the extinction of the wolves, remember, nature doesn't care about fairness, it only cares about balance. Billionaires aren't angels, they're not demons either, they're simply a part of the ecosystem of power. As long as society exists, someone has to fill that role. You can kill the wolf, but sooner or later, something else will grow fangs. If you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like and subscribe, and perhaps visit my other videos. Anyways, that is it for the video, and as always, glory to Negus Carlson.